that we are finally at a point where we can bring in buses that are dedicated public transportation.
Hey, what's up? This is Believe TV, the best Jamaican TV. Yes, sir. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Big up.
That we are finally at a point where we can bring in buses that are dedicated public transportation for students. In other words, Jamaica, when this is fully rolled out, will have a comprehensive school bus system. Now, to be clear, the system will be jointly operated by the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Transport, the JUTC having a memorandum of understanding for the maintenance of the buses. But it is important that the role of the Ministry of Education is emphasized, because the budget will come through the Ministry of Education, particularly the budget for the full subsidy of those students who have gone through the beneficiary identification system for PATH. Now, more than that, however, which is the part that I am even more pleased about, is that the school rules for the physical plant of the school will apply to the bus.
To the bus. Yes.
So a student on this bus is still under the jurisdiction of the school as it relates to conduct and discipline. And that is a very important point. So the transformation that will happen as a result of this, clearly households in Jamaica will get an economic benefit, because right now there is an inequity. If you live in spaces served by the JUTC, you get a fully, in some instances, subsidized fare. But if you live in rural areas, no subsidy applies. So there is an inequity. This will help to reduce that inequity, if not remove it totally. But it will also bring a level of decency and standardization to our students. And it will also improve our students' performance at school.
Access to
not
school.
Having the distractions, not having the discomfort and the inconvenience, the late arrivals, the exposure to all kinds of deviant behavior and fights. I think that this is going to be transformational. So we are starting, Minister, you have assured me, with 50 buses in a few weeks' time.
Yes.
Just to say a few things about the buses, because these buses are built for the American market. But you would have heard the Minister explain that the American market is quite diverse. Usually you have long run flat on plains, but you do have some hilly terrains that are similar to Jamaica. So the buses are built terrain specific. So you have buses like these that can do long haul. You have smaller buses to navigate curves and hills and corners. And so we will be importing the buses that are suitable for the terrain.
Under guidance from the ministry.
Under guidance from the ministry, so that the buses themselves don't cause traffic jams or any kind of traffic hazards. So that will be well thought out. The buses are left-hand drive buses, and we are cognizant of that, and therefore these buses, the speed at which they are allowed to travel will be governed. And we have changed the access doors from the right side to the left side.
For safety.
And we're going to also do some other modifications. I pointed this out to the minister, that these buses must have a camera on them. So even if the camera is not transmitting directly, some of them will, but at least whatever happens within the bus will be recorded for future reference.
And cashless.
And the buses will be cashless, so the students will not be required to pay. From time to time, there may be a supervisor from the school on the bus, just to make sure that the operations are inspected and there is someone to ensure that there is order and discipline maintained on the bus. The buses will be tracked, and that is how we will be able, buses, how fast it is moving, the distance away from school, these kinds of things. So they will know where their child is. So all of this technology will be built into the bus.